Good morning, LinkedIn, and good morning, everybody. Right, coming up on the show today, we have the wonderful Alan Cohen, followed by Lizette Bassett, and then finally with Joy Fraser. So let's give them all a warm welcome, and let's add Alan in. Here he comes. Poof. Hello, Alan. How are you? Good to see you, my friend. I think if I do that, looks good, doesn't it? I can't hear you, Alan. As your mic's not on, I don't think. Hello. No. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Could you hear the music and things? You can hear me? I can't explain. Let's do it in sign language. Well, right. So, exciting times are happening at the Cobra Club currently. So we've got lots of new things going on. We've got new clubs opening. So we've got Cobra TT kicking off on the Isle of Man. And we've got, Alan's coming back in. Let's see if we can get him back into the stream. Hello, Alan.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. How are you? Good to see you, my friend. I was going to panic then because I was going to have an interview on my own.
I wasn't showing that I was mute, but I logged out, logged back in again, and here I am. There you go. Technology, eh?
Well, really, really good to see you. Look at that technology. Look how clever I am. I can make it do all sorts of things up. It's just fantastic. So I have my Cobra Club top on today, you see?
Yeah, excellent. I have my Text My Deal t-shirt.
Well, you see, Text My Deal is a very good one. And look, Minau's on. She's saying hello to you. She says hello, both. Hello, Alan. Her doggie's not very well today. So we're quite...
Yeah, I saw the picture. It looked very sad.
It did look very sad. Like, quite sad. Right. So, Alan, Text My Deal. Give me an understanding of how you got from when you first started, if you like, and how you've got through to being where you are today. Oh, look, even Mr. Hatcher's joining in from the beach.
Is that where he is?
He's on holiday. Bless his cotton socks. Tradina Farm down in Cornwall. He's been surfing. They've got the weather for it. They've discovered a super time. Good to see you, Andrew. You should be working.
My background is mainly corporate. I come out the corporate world. I actually started life as a telephone engineer back in 1972, working for Post Office Telecommunications before it became British Telecom.
Busby.
Yeah, it was around the Busby time when vans were yellow and Maureen Lipman was doing the adverts on TV. And everyone had a eulogy.
Still got one now. Anology, wasn't it?
So I've got a good background in telecommunications. Apart from 7 years at Xerox, when I've moved from fixing things to selling things, I've spent my entire career in voice and data communications, always on the sales side, managing sales teams, sales manager, national sales manager, sales director, that type of thing. But I got out the corporate world about 12 years ago, working for myself, doing pretty much as I've been doing for the corporates, but under my own steam. And it was good. I really enjoyed it. I think the moment I stopped working for a corporate, I added a few years to the end of my life. It took a lot of pressure off my shoulders, and I was responsible for my own actions. The only trouble with interim management work is you tend to go from feast to famine with regard to income. You can't look for a new contract while you got one. So you got this up and down with your income. So all the time I was looking for a business that I could perhaps start up, build up, sell off, and potentially give myself the opportunity to retire or the option to retire.
Decent pension.
Yes. Along with my current business partner, we had a couple of false starts, businesses that actually didn't go anywhere. But then we came up with the idea of Text My Deal about 7 years ago. And it was born out of a few good ideas coming together, as these things normally are. But we had a very close look at the text marketing arena. And there were people in that arena, people like Text Local, for example, that offered a bureau type service. But it occurred to us, first of all, if you haven't got your customer's mobile number, you can't send them a text message. And second of all, if you want to use a third party, you have to export your database to them, which is never a great idea. So we thought if we could come up with a solution that was both in-house and allowed data capture at the front end, we might have the semblance of a good idea.
That
We
makes sense.
bounced the idea off a few people who generally thought it was quite good. We managed to get some investment. We put our own money in. That allowed us to write the software that we specified. We sourced the hardware that you can see sit behind me. And we launched the whole thing at the restaurant show in London 6 years ago now. Two things happened at that exhibition, which we went to without a customer on board, not knowing whether we had a product that would sell or not. First of all, we were voted best new idea at the show, which was very flattering. And second of all, we were actually signing up customers on the stand. And in my experience of exhibitions over the years, that was quite a unique thing to do.
It's a tough thing.
We left there with a customer base, with our tails up, and have gone from strength to strength until 18 months ago, obviously. Ever since, it's been steady growth. It's been in hospitality, it's been in high street retail. It's generally anyone that deals with the public on a regular basis can take advantage of the platform.
Yeah, I think it's a different sort of platform. It's not what you think, is it? I mean, for an outsider looking in, you think it's just some computer program that sends out loads of spammy text messages, but it's totally different to that, isn't it?
It is. We tried to make the software as intuitive as possible, bearing in mind that the people using it were going to be shop owners, restaurants, people that might not necessarily be all that computer literate. So we designed it so it was what we call granny proof, so that if you could train your granny to use it, pretty much anybody else could use it. And our support line reflects that. We normally, when we sign customers up, we help them with their first campaign. After that, they're up and running, they're flying. They're very, very easy to use.
And I think it's interesting because you talk about the hardware, that customers actually put their own, they want to be texted. They're putting their own details in so that people can come back and
Well, that's right. It's a very quick market research tool, apart from anything else, because in a restaurant, for example, if you see this on the table and the owner of the restaurant says to you, I hope you've enjoyed your meal. We'd like to send you some special offers and deals and let you know when we have theme evenings or music nights. Just enter your mobile number and you'll be on our database. Well, if the customer says no, it's probably because they haven't enjoyed their experience very much. But normally they have. The food is good. They want to come back, and if they can come back at a discounted price, well, why wouldn't you sign up?
Absolutely. So these are willing people who want to be contacted.
It's part of GDPR says that your customers have to opt in. So they are opting in and they want to be contacted. There is a limit on the amount of messages that merchant can send, and we've capped that at 4 messages in a 30-day period. So you're never going to be bombarded. So you might get a couple of messages a month from your favorite restaurant, but that data is not shared with any other third party. So if you do sign up with a restaurant, you're not going to suddenly get messages from the local minicab company.
Yeah, it's really clever, really, really clever. And take-up still strong?
The pandemic hit us very, very hard because probably 85% of our customer base went into lockdown.
Yeah.
And we felt we couldn't charge them their monthly license fee. It is a subscription service. We couldn't charge them if they couldn't open their doors to the public. So we took a massive hit on our cash flow. We, through a couple of government initiatives, managed to remain afloat. Quite a few of our customers have. They haven't all come back. They are starting to come back. They are starting to build up a head of steam again now that social distancing is coming down. Social distancing hasn't been removed entirely, and a lot of places, for the reassurance of their customers, are still providing social distancing. So most of these places are still not operating at full capacity.
And it's a wake-up call. What you do is a wake-up call for businesses. If you're prepared and things happen and people have been shut, I mean, no one could have predicted, what's just gone on. But, right now, those people who have a database of clients who want to be contacted, who they can send text messages to say, now we're open, come back and see us. Wow, what a marketing opportunity. Those clients actually would quite like to know. They'd like to be invited back out again. They'd like to feel special. And they've got a distinct advantage over those people who don't have that. System. So it's a very, you look at your phone when you get a message through. You don't always look when you get a message through.
Well, that's the amazing thing about text messages. Texting has been around since 1992, believe it or not. But the most amazing, one of the amazing things about text messages is that I think there's a bit of brain training going on, because text messaging was primarily the only way you could communicate with other people before WhatsApp and all the other social networks came online. People responded to text messages instantly, and they still do. It's muscle training. So they hear a text message, they look at it straight away, because instinctively that's what they've always done.
Yeah,
But no matter what phone you've got, no matter what platform it operates on, it will always send and receive a text message. So your customers don't have to download any special software. They don't need any apps on the phone. And if you've got a more mature customer base and they haven't got smartphones, you can still send them a text message, because even Nokia 6210s will receive a text message and receive it very clearly.
Right, Alan, we've got a load of people who are saying hello to you this morning. So I'm going to go through. Here we go. So Ben Timberley says, morning all. Morning, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ben. And then we have Sam Thomas says, I love the text my deal model.
I love you, Sam.
Yeah, we love you too, Sam. Jamie Pierce, good morning, Jamie. Morning, everyone. How are you? Hope you're well. Kate Fox has come on and said good morning. And also, what exhibition was that you talked about?
The restaurant show. The restaurant show in London. It got smaller and smaller each year after we first started with it. So we switched to the pub show, which was far more in tune with our target market. But it was the restaurant show, which at that time was at Earl's Court. It's now moved to Olympia.
Okay, I like Earl's Court. Something about Earl's Court I quite like.
Well, it's been flattened. It's not there anymore.
Is it not?
It's a block of
I
flats.
was doing exhibitions, wasn't it? That sort of dates me a bit. So when you say 1992, I'm sure text messages were around before 1992, but obviously they weren't. I was old in 1992. Bon Taylor says that I'm doing a great job, and I would say I'm doing a great job too. And Russell Silverman is alluding to the fact that I'm a solo ed today. Thank you, Russell. We're very pleased to see you. But he also says hello to you because he doesn't want you to go, because bless him, he doesn't want to. And then he's saying hello to everybody because, he wouldn't want to be quite sad. And then he says, I think he means, because he does start drinking early, does our Russell? I think he means he likes the sound of a pub show, which actually I can't blame him.
The pub show is terrific. Absolutely.
And I would say, from Kate's point of view, this would work brilliantly for exhibitors. But how would you, if I was an exhibitor, how would you, how would you make it work?
Well, there's two ways, and we do work with Reed Exhibitions, providing a service to their customers. This kiosk, which is our method for capturing data in a face-to-face situation, would sit on a stand. It would display whatever you wanted to display, and quite simply, customers requested to enter their mobile number. As soon as they do that, they get a bounce back text message, which could include whatever details you wanted to put there, but certainly a link to a website if you wanted to. But you've captured their number and you've captured the date and time they put their number in. But we also have...
Sorry, for an exhibition, you can have I don't know what the equivalent of an iPod shuffle is or something like that up as your prize and get people to put their details in.
Absolutely. Any sort of incentive. And you can have as many of these working on the same account as you like. So if you've got a team of people on the stand, they could each have one connected to their Wi-Fi. They could walk around the exhibition capturing numbers all over the place.
Very, very clever. She says you should speak to Jeff Molyneux.
Okay.
So I agree. Russell's corrected his English. And he says he hasn't started yet.
Right,
and Christina also says good morning to you. How are you a popular man this morning?
What can I say? There's
There's
nothing else going on.
It's too cool. No, very, very exciting. So I mean, you've obviously started going down the hospitality route because you have to start somewhere with the business. But actually, there's no stopping you, because you could have a virtual kiosk, I suppose, could you?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're not in the business of selling these things. It's just one method of data capture. We have several other methods, including QR codes, which this is on a beer mat because it's printed for the pub show. But QR codes became very popular last year with track and trace. And our platform is ideal use of that because everything is date and time stamped.
Yes.
So lots of different ways to get numbers into the platform, but this is all browser based. The whole technology is browser based. So that kiosk is actually a 10-inch Android tablet with a browser on it that we put a URL in and lock it down. So that URL could be on your mobile phone, it could be on a PC, it could be on any other web-enabled device. So you don't have to have that kiosk to have that screen and be able to capture numbers.
That's just a little bit clever. So I think that puts you firmly into the entrepreneur category.
Well, thank you.
It's a driven thing to produce something a system that's quite as slick as that. You know, to actually do that sounds easy, but actually each and every component of it has to work together, and to work together, it's not. It takes a huge amount of time, effort, love, perseverance to actually make it a system that works when it's something brand new.
Absolutely, but the enthusiasm has been there from day one, Ed. There's no one that I've ever presented Text My Deal to who said that's a bad idea. Everyone I showed it to has said, yep, that's a good idea. May not be appropriate for their business, but no one has said, no, terrible idea, don't like it.
Yeah, been it. Well, that's rubbish.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. So listen, Alan, I reckon that you must have some quite strong people who have given you inspiration in your life to make you the entrepreneur that you are. So I'm going to play a short BT, and then I'm going to ask you a question, predictably, about your inspiration. I should have changed that video, hosted by Andrew Hatcher on the beach in Cornwall and Ed Williamson. That's what it should say. Do you know, it's pouring rain here. I hope Andrew's got some sunshine, so bless him. Right, Alan, who's your inspiration? Who inspires you? Who makes you, who gave you that drive to produce what you produced, to have the successful business that you've got now?
Well, it's not an easy question to answer. There are some obvious people, but I'm not talking about the Richard Bransons and the Alan Sugars of this world, because everyone does. But there's one person that sticks out in my mind that several years ago, more years than I care to remember, I was national sales manager working for Philips and telecommunications. And we had a dealer called MTV. This is before the music channel started up, MTV. And the owner of that was a guy.
I wish they'd copyrighted that name.
Absolutely. The owner of that business was a guy called Martin Hatcher. And he was very good. He used to give me more aggravation than any of the other dealers put together. But it was always him driving that business. And I was having a chat with him. We got on very well. I said to him, what is it that motivates you? And it wasn't the fact that he wanted to be rich and wealthy. What motivated him was the fear of failure. And those words stuck in my mind and have been there ever since. And it's that fear of failure that drives me on. I've got a lovely family. I've got some wonderful kids. I've got some lovely grandchildren. And it's the fear of letting them down that gets me out of bed every morning and drives me forward. Plus, I love doing what I'm doing, which is always a big bonus.
It's that fear. It's that fear of everything stopping, you know?
Absolutely. It's the fear of people turning around to you and say you couldn't make that work or whatever. It's the fear of failure, not the drive for success, that keeps me going.
Both, I tell you, both are very similar to me. I'm driven by that wanting to fear of failure isn't. It's fear of everything stopping. It's not so much about minding things not working and doing something new. It's quite exciting, but it's that sort of letting people down, and you know that I don't like. Money is very important, so you got to keep things going through. Interestingly, Kate Fox is asking about your R&D tax relief. Russell Silverman, he's up there like a big cockerel fighting, saying he does it as well. Yes, see.
The message to both of them, and thank you for asking the question, is that one of our investors is our accountant as well. Is well tuned in to everything that we can do over the years to get money back, to save money, to get grants, etc. So we're up to speed on all tax grants and tax credits and research and development.
I think it's really
all the way.
important. One of the nice things about being part of the Cobra Club, actually, which is quite interesting, is that you can speak to people who have run businesses and are doing things. So it's quite nice if you haven't claimed guaranteed tax credits to actually talk it through with someone who has, who isn't trying to sell it to you and just is going to talk to you. I don't mean that the people we have, people like Kate, people like Russell and Andy Hatcher, actually, are experts in the way they talk about things. But it's nice to talk to somebody who's done it. So if anybody ever wants to talk, I'm sure you're open to having a chat to people about the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Those sort of things work for you.
I love the Cobra Club. I've been a serial networker since we launched Text My Deal. I've joined many other networks in the past, but I joined Cobra October last year. And quite frankly, I take my hat off to you. The job you've both done. I think you've taken networking to a whole new level. I think the caliber of attendee at the meetings is very high. The meetings are all very novel. They're never the same, and a lovely bunch of people.
I think so.
So I've really enjoyed my time in the Cobra Club.
Yeah, me too. We're blessed by. I mean, Andy and I are forever, sort of pinching ourselves really that we're surrounded by some great people, and that's what makes it. It's the community that makes things work, and we're quite privileged that we've got a good. I've got a conservatory, Alan, and the rain is going on top of it. I don't know if you can hear that. I've been sorry. It's like, oh my goodness. So, Mr. Hatcher, if it's sunny in Cornwall, it's raining in Wiltshire. You're in the better place.
Well, it's not raining in Hertfordshire yet, but it does look very, very overcast.
No fun. Right. So I'm going to come to that point in the day where I say to you, Alan, if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best ways that they can get in touch with you? I mean, I presume you would do. How typically would you do a free sort of consultation with someone so they can understand it better?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I spent the last 18 months doing consultations that led to no business because everyone was closed. But yeah, I'm more than happy to discuss whether or not there's an application within the business they're talking about for text messaging. And we never try to fit a square peg in a round hole. So if it's not appropriate, if it's not going to work, Text My Deal is a weapon of mass communication. It's not designed for one-to-one communication. If you've got a large group of people that you want to get a message out to quickly, if it's time dependent or it's urgent and they read it, then text messaging is definitely the way forward. And I'm happy to talk through any scenario, but one thing I don't want to do is sign people up where there's no real application. All that does is cause aggravation. So if anyone's unsure, they can trust me.
No, that's fantastic.
Honestly.
Thank you. Honestly, please trust me. Thank you so much.
I'm supposed to touch my heart when I say that, aren't I?
Yeah. Trust me, I'm a salesman. No. Believe me, honestly. I've been lucky enough to meet your business partner, and he's a lovely chap too. So you're a great team together. It's just really nice to meet people who are sort of like-minded and forward-thinking. So it's absolutely great. So I'm going to bid you farewell, sir. I'm going to turn off that because if I don't, then it doesn't. And I'm going to play a thingy. And whilst that thingy is playing, you will disappear, sir. So thank you so much, and I shall talk to you soon. It's been a pleasure meeting you. Cheers, bud. Thank you. And what I thought I'd do just before Joy comes on is I'm just going to welcome some of the new members to the club. So those of you who have joined today, we've already seen one, Jamie Pierce, but those of you who are new, welcome to the Cobra Club. So I'm going to play a short VT and I'm going to talk over the top. Well, guys, welcome. So welcome to Jamie Pierce, who's joined us at Cobra Connect. Welcome to David Bora, who's joined us at RWBHQ. Welcome to Peter Francis, who's joined us at Solutions. Welcome to James Baylor, who's joined us at Cobra Hive. Welcome to Gareth Johnson, who's joined us to RWBHQ. Welcome to Emma Horner, who's joined us at Cobra F40.
and another one, Charles Smith, also joined us at Code. So welcome, guys, and come and get involved. Hopefully, we'll see you on the Gritty Business Show very shortly. So without too much further ado, I'm going to welcome in the wonderful and Joy Fraser. So here we go. Well, Joy, welcome to the Cobra Club. Really good to see you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Edward, and thank you very much for inviting me along today.
Normally, I'm part of a double team, so this is like Laurel and Hardy's missing. He's gone. So Laurel's going to interview you today, if that's all right. So good to see you,
That's
Joy.
perfect.
I know you sent through some things. I'm a Luddite, so I can't update those things on. So we're going to have to talk, if that's all right.
Absolutely fine.
Sorry, just in case you say, and show me that thing I sent through, because I absolutely can't. So, Joy, good to see you. You've joined the Cobra Club recently?
I have, just about 6 weeks ago.
And how are you finding it?
I'm finding it amazing. There's so many wonderful people in it, and I've had quite a few lovely one-to-ones with people. So I've done business with one of them so far, and a couple have done business with me. So it's been very good.
It's really nice when it's like that. For me, because I tend to use awful, isn't it? I tend to introduce the people in the Cobra Club to clients of mine. It's very important that sort of trust thing happens, because I need to believe that those people are going to give a good service and support my clients, because I've worked very hard to get those clients. So it's lovely when you have that sort of relationship and it starts to go forwards and backwards, which is just really nice. So one of those things, Joy, that we like to do is to just ask you if you can talk me through sort of what's brought you from the past through to the present. So talk me through your journey to get to where you are now and what you're doing now.
Well, I learned Reiki way back in 2004, and I was working full-time with a company up until the end of 2018. So when I started working with my Reiki journey, I was doing that evenings, weekends, and I became a teacher and started running workshops. And at the end of 2018, I gave up my daytime job and decided that Reiki would be my whole life going forward.
Oh.
Now that kind of got knocked on the head last year, because the government said that nobody could come into my home, and all businesses and the same type of businesses all shut down.
Very tough.
So I was one of those people that was stuck in the loop, that because my business had only just started up, I was unavailable for any of the grants or anything that was going from the government. And I thought I needed a second income coming in. And I remembered I'm a vegan, and I had gone to a vegan fair a couple of years ago, and I'd seen a cleaning system which I thought was fantastic. And I remembered somebody in one of my other networking groups that I thought did something pretty similar. So I spoke to her for 1 hour one evening, and she sent me something to try. And I kid you not, within 30 minutes of using the products, I phoned up and I said to her, I'm in.
I want one.
And it was a product I had never heard of before. The company's called Enyo, and they're Austrian.
Okay.
And all you use to clean your home and your body is cold water. Now, that might shock some people, but for many, many years, all I had ever used was cold water and a fibre cloth for my face. So it didn't come as a shock to me to suddenly transfer to the Enyo fibres.
Yes.
But what's better about them is that they actually cut your cleaning time by at least 50%. And who says no to that?
That's quite brilliant. So the cleverness isn't, I mean, the water is a natural solvent anyway, but it's the cloth itself that's the clever thing. Is that?
Yeah. What happens is each cloth has little hooks on the end of them. So if you think of a traditional way of cleaning, you're literally spraying a surface and you're wiping a cloth across it, but you're
Yes.
not going into the crevices underneath.
Okay.
So what Enyo does is the cloth actually goes in, pulls onto all of the debris and the bacteria,
Yeah.
and holds on tight to it because you're using cold water.
Okay.
And then when you want to wash your cloth out, you just use hot soapy water and it all disappears. And one of the reasons that this really gelled with me is for about 20 years, I have tried to do as much recycling as I can. So I've had worm maraes, I've had bokashi bins when I was a meat eater. So I very rarely had things going out into the rubbish bins, but I never thought of what I was putting toxically down my sink.
No, I
And
don't think many people do. Once it goes down the sink, it's sort of forgotten about, isn't it?
Yeah, it totally shocked me when I lifted a simple thing, which was a bottle of washing up liquid, and it said it's highly toxic to aquatic life. And I went, what? That's
Wow.
just washing up liquid.
No.
So I then got all of the chemical things out of my cupboards, and I thought, this is unbelievable that I'm using these on a daily basis, and I'm pouring all of these down my sink. So guess what I did? I picked every single one of them up and I threw them all in the bin. And since May last year, there's not been a single chemical used inside my home. And I have to tell you, the thing that's really come out of it is I have got 2 dogs who are 8 years old, and one of them has breathing problems.
Oh.
So ever since he was totty, he would suddenly catch his breath and you'd just have to stand still with him for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And I noticed 6 weeks after using Enyo, he hadn't had a single breathing issue inside the house.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah.
Now, just before that, he'd been at the vets and they were sending him to find out what was the problem. And unfortunately, they forgot to do that. And he went to the vets finally about 2 months ago, and they've told me that his trachea is too soft. So if any strong smells or dust come into his area, his trachea collapses. And that's what causes the problem. So they said to me, don't have dust around, don't have any strong smells, don't have any plug-in inhalers. And I said, well, you know, I said, since last May, I've not had a single one of those in my home.
No way.
And I thought, perfect. And if you think of an animal having an effect like that, think of how many children have got breathing issues,
That's just
or animals, and they're crawling around the floors and they're picking up all the chemicals. But since then, I have found so much more that they do. In fact, this tiny little thing here, this is an iPad. Would you believe this and cold water takes off makeup?
No.
It takes off long stay at mascara, takes off long stay lipstick, and that is just one tiny little thing, and the fibers all last for more than 3 years.
Tell me, Joy, is the pad itself made of cotton, is it, or is it made of
It's made of specific different fibers depending on the actual cloth that you're using, but each of them is made for whatever the purpose. So for instance, if you take the fat that comes off of your kitchen, it's totally different to fat that comes out in your bathroom from your body.
Yes.
But one of the people that I know, her little girl had serious health issues when she was young, and her body was covered in sores. And she thought she was doing the right thing for that child by constantly cleaning. And it wasn't until she suddenly clicked that even when she was cleaning her bath, she was then putting her little one into the bath, coming in contact with the chemicals that she'd cleaned the bath with. And as soon as she stopped using it, her baby's skin cleared up completely.
So tell me, Joy, lots of decisions. I'm not vegetarian, but I live in a vegetarian household. In fact, we're closer to vegan than vegetarian. But the decision for a meat eater to go to that is quite a big decision. So for me, it's been a gradual process. I sort of went vegetarian, and I'm sort of cutting out dairy, and I'm becoming more vegan now, and I'm loving it. But if you'd said to me when I was a meat eater, go vegan, it would have been quite a big jump for me personally to have told me. And when you're talking about people cleaning in their homes and things, because we're all so used to doing what we've always done, I'm going to play a little video, but give me a top tip for someone to start on that process. So instead of saying you were very brave, throw everything in the house away, what would be your top tip for someone to sort of step into what you're doing? I talk about you jump, sorry.
I would say the first top tip would be to possibly use less chemicals on your face. So
Okay.
at the moment, if you're somebody that has makeup on, you're maybe using your cotton pads, you're also using your makeup remover. So those two things on their own, the cotton pads are literally going into the landfill.
Yeah.
And the makeup remover is going down your sink. So perhaps go for something for removing the makeup without actually using cotton pads. I would say that was probably the easiest starting.
Sort of move into the home with the rest of it, I suppose.
Yeah.
I just had a comment from Julie Nielsen. Sorry. Hi, Julie. How are you? She uses Enyo products and she loves them. Joy's great at advertising which ones are best to do. So that's rather nice, isn't it?
Julie is a brilliant customer of mine, to be honest. And she started in the way a lot of people do. She bought one whole zone. So we have 7 zones to cover the different areas of the house and the garden and the car, etc.
Okay.
And she bought one zone and then gradually built it up.
Which is exactly what you're saying with the makeup, isn't it? It's to start somewhere and then to see where it goes and to build trust in the whole process, I suppose. Is she now using it?
When it really comes into its own, Ed, is when people actually see it in action. And I actually sent a fibre to somebody to try who was in Edinburgh, and family arrived over the weekend, and he said he couldn't believe that he was showing his sister-in-law how to clean the shower screen with a fibre, and then the wife was showing the sister-in-law how to take the makeup off. So of course they all went on to buy it because they'd seen it in action.
That is just absolutely wonderful. Just absolutely love it.
If you have 2 seconds, I will show you a very, very quick demonstration. So here's butter, and I just need to pop it on there. And
butter on glass is a pig.
Yeah, this is a special fibre, so it's got a gritty side on one side of it, and this side is for sucking up fats in the kitchen. So all I'm going to do is take my little bottle of water, spray it onto the cloth, and then if I can make sure this is seeing, all I'm going to do is put this on here, and it's completely gone. And
you
hear that?
Squeak, we got the squeak.
Yeah. So here's the butter. And then the way the Enyo works is we always dry, because when you actually have your normal things that you're spraying, when you're leaving it on the surface, it's attracting more debris. Also, another important point is people who watch TV, which I don't, but they see all these adverts for spraying things in the kitchen. Do you know you're actually meant to spray and leave them for 5 minutes, and then you're meant to dry them? Now, here's the next part. When you use Enyo, the reason it's so fast is that you start on whatever the cleanest area is in your room, and you go on to your dirty area, and it locks it all in here. So there we go. So just to show you, it doesn't transfer. It still keeps locked in here.
That's
and
clever.
that will stay there until I actually go to the kitchen sink and run it under hot soapy water.
That's amazing. And the water that you're using, does it matter if it's soft water or hard water? Or it doesn't have to be a special type of water?
Doesn't matter at all. There is obviously, I mean, I'm in a soft water area, but for people in hard water areas, they'll have things like calcium buildup. So sometimes the cloths might take longer to remove the calcium, or we have a little helper, a little bottle of calcium dissolver.
Yes.
And literally 2 drops of that can break it down quickly.
I mean, that's rock that's built over time, and rock, you've got to sort of chisel away rock a bit.
Well, the interesting thing is that you can actually knock it down really fast by using the calcium dissolver. But the thing about Enyo is everything is recyclable, and that's another big plus for me.
Yes.
When these have had their 3 years old, what they actually have is they have these. And if you can see, there's a little blue bit and a black bit.
Yeah, yeah.
When it gets to all blue, it means it's come to the end of its life.
No, that's clever.
And
That's
what
really
they do
clever.
is they hand it back to the person they got it from. That person then sends it off to Austria, and it gets recycled into things such as car filling, car seat filling. So
Oh,
the company makes sure that there's nothing at all that
Doesn't
gets
get back to
left
landfill or
out.
anything horrid, it just gets reused in another use.
Yep, they're also carbon emission free as a company. When you see the people going to work, it's all done in-house. And they either walk or they cycle or they drive electric cars. I mean, the whole ethos just follows on with me using my Bokashi bins and my Wormberries. And, you know, I think that
Alan says, just like at the Ideal Home Show.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I love, I'm a bit sad really. I love seeing people doing demonstrations at shows.
Well, it's funny, when I heard you ask Alan the question about who inspired him, I had a little think. And I think my whole life has run from my mum. Because my mum used to be available to help everybody. I then went to work in a company where I was helping vulnerable people. I then helped people with my Reiki, and now I'm helping not only people to save time and money, but I'm helping the environment as well.
Absolutely, there is no planet B, but it's we all need to, and actually I think people are. I think the ramp up of people taking more interest is definitely there. You compare it to where it was 10 years ago, it's a massive difference now.
There's a lot of us like that, but there are also people that in the last year have become so terrified of what's going on that they've actually upped the amount of chemicals they're using in their homes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a bad thing to have done.
Yeah, absolutely it is. So Joy, because you're multi-talented, I'm going to ask you a question in a second to find out, because I reckon that you've got secret talents that you're hiding under a bushel. So, Joy. I bet you never guessed. What's your secret talent?
My secret talent is I'm an author.
Oh, no way. That's amazing. Oh.
I found that with my life of Reiki, synchronicity happened non-stop. Everything just followed on from everything. And I was talking to somebody one day who was actually writing her first children's book. And she said to me, you should actually put this down and write a book yourself.
100%.
And I said, no, I can't do that. And then in 2018, I was off work for a few weeks and I thought, I wonder. And I found all my bits of paper and all the things I'd put on the computers and I put it together. And I was very lucky that a few of my Reiki students also allowed me to put their stories in here.
Oh, that's quite
so
nice.
It's all about the synchronicity that happens with Reiki.
Show me what it's got. It's called The Power of Reiki Crystals
Reiki
and Synchronicity.
Crystals and Synchronicity.
Sounds like a police album, doesn't it?
And this beautiful picture was actually taken on my local waters by one of my Reiki students.
No
and I fell in love with it, and I asked her if I could use this as my book cover.
Where does someone come and buy that book from? How do they get hold of it?
They can buy it from Amazon. It's on Kindle and it's also on Kindle Unlimited as well.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. And getting in touch with you, joy.fraser1@btinternet.com.
Yep, or they can contact me on LinkedIn. And if anybody wants a demonstration, because to be honest, you can literally do it for every room in your home. So you can clean your bathroom, you can clean your kitchen, you can clean your windows, you can clean your living areas, you can clean your car just with cold water.
It's just incredible. It's just absolutely incredible.
The only one thing that I can't actually demonstrate is the car, because unfortunately my lower back won't let me bend down and wash down below.
It's not good enough. Not good enough. You need to Reiki. You do. Do people come? I mean, do you send out samples so they can try before they buy, or how does it work? How does the process tend to work?
Usually what I do is I'll do a demonstration over Zoom with somebody. I'm just on the point of getting a couple of samples that I can send out to people to try. Unfortunately, I made a mistake previously that I sent the samples out and I didn't ask for them back again.
Yeah, that's always a mistake. That's never so good. So I think if you could do that with your, for me, car or bathroom, whatever, and just see it for yourself,
I'll show you how multitasking these could be. It was actually somebody in Cobra that said I should be mentioning this one. This is part of our outdoor set. And this is actually a glove that's for cleaning barbecues, your outdoor furniture, your pots and things, but it's got a jaggy edge. Well, it's not really jaggy, but a bristly edge. And you know, it's amazing for brushing dogs and horses.
You see, if I was a commercial car wash, a hand car wash, should be using water and those tools, shouldn't I, really?
Yeah.
Because the applications are just bonkers. They're massive. If I'm in a hotel, I should be using it. My staff, you know.
I live in a new build and I've got a neighbour who at least 3 times a week goes out and uses chemicals on his cars, and I cringe every time I see him washing his cars.
That's just incredible. Zaf's saying, morning Ed and morning Joy. So hello Zaf, I hope you're well. Good to see you, my friend. I'm just saying hello to people. If I don't say hello to them, they talk with me afterwards, you see. So Joy, listen, it's been an absolute delight seeing you today. Thank you so much. I recommend anybody coming into the Cobra Club and just having a one-to-one with Joy it would be an inspirational thing. Come and get involved with these products. They're world changing, aren't they?
They are. They're life changing, because not only are you going to save time and money, you're going to help the health of the people in your home and the environment all at the same time. And I think, you know, when people say, who are you targeting? I think I'm targeting absolutely everybody, because everybody will have one of those sides of them that they want to help, either the time, the money, the health, or the environment.
Yes.
So it can connect with everyone.
Joy,
the more people that help the planet, the better.
I couldn't agree with you anymore. Thank you so much for your time today. And I look forward to seeing you in the club shortly.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Now you're watching me. Yeah, all eyes on me. 'Cause I've been living the good life. So come fly with me into my fantasy. And we be loving the good life, good life.
I think this dream now just hit me. Why don't you just go there with me? Surfing the skies and splash in the clouds. Dance in the crowds and laugh out loud. Holding your hand, unfolding a plan. 2 souls in a land like gold in a pan. Float in the breeze or soak in the sea. Come go there with me where we both wanna be. Lie on the beach or fly in the streets. I'm trying to keep this vine in the reach. Putting everything I do aside, me and you are first. We can travel to the very end of the universe. You and me are meant to be divine energy. Living with no rules in a pool of serenity. Come be my fantasy, go away with me. Lock us up in a dream and throw away the key. Come on, live this up now. Good life, good laugh, good love now. Come on, live this with me. Good laugh, good love, we live free. Come on, live this up now. Good life, good laugh, good love now. Come on, live this with me. Good laugh, good love, we live free. We need to rise with these new eyes. Pull the disguise off of these blue skies. Lights in the city reflect off the shoreline. When you're living this life, you want more time. Rewind the time, align planets. Ride this comet to a new dynamic. Your eyes on me, mine on you. Living the good life, we do what
Now
we
you're
want to.
watching me. Yeah, all
Wow. Thank you, LinkedIn. Great to see you all today. Thank you for all the wonderful comments, and thanks for my excellent guests, Alan and Joy. Normally, at this stage on LinkedIn Live, Andrew would tell me about who his hero is of the week. And Andrew likes to hide himself under a bushel. So for this week, I'm going to tell you who the hero of the club is. So my hero of the club is Andrew Hatcher. So Andrew cleverly came up with the idea for the Cobra Club eons ago, and I was very lucky to be involved with him from the start. And it's been a really great journey. And one of the things that is quite lovely about Andrew is that he gives. So he's a giver, and doesn't take. So in the club, we share knowledge and expertise between ourselves, and it's free. So every Monday at 11 o'clock, Andrew's there doing his business strategy hour where he gives free advice to all the club members. And is probably one of the most supportive people and one of the best blokes, best business buddy in the club. So I would really recommend coming and meeting Andrew, because he is actually one of the biggest heroes in the club. And thank you very much to Mr. Hatcher. Right. We're gonna have some fun now. I've got lots of buttons to press. I've got all these buttons to press. So let's press a button and see where it takes us. Today would not be complete without saying thank you very, very much to the wonderful Hannah Matarazzo, who puts together all of our marketing for us. And all these videos that you're seeing, they're all put together by Hannah. Hannah's got a real gift, and that's to get the emotion of something into a video so that people can understand it and communicate with it. And I know she's worked with a lot of people through the club, and they've had some fantastic success with her videos, as have we. So I'd like to just play this and say thank you to Hannah. And it's getting close to that time when we're going to say goodbye and toddle off. But before we do, let me tell you what's coming up at the Cobra Club this week. Well, you can come and join me at Monday Motivation, which is between 9 and 10 every Monday. So come along, fill your diary with appointments. And then you can go to Christine's Virtual Coffee Club, which is every Monday between 3 and 4. Come and join Christine, she's up in Wales, fantastic, relaxing group. And then meet the lady herself, Cobra Creative, every Monday 4 till 5. It's creative networking relationships and growth. Then in the evening, we're going to have a huge event, Monday Mayhem, full of energy, full of excitement, the inspirational Zafran Khan, 7:30 to 8:30. Tuesday morning, join Judith West from the West Business Network group of Bristol. And then join Tantalising Taylor, as Andrew would call her, Tantalising Tuesdays, every Tuesday between 12 and 1:30. Come and join us on those Tuesdays. And then the inspirational Victoria Wood from the Cobra office, every Tuesday, 1:30 to 2:30. We also have Katrina Ellis, Cobra TT, Stuff and Another Plan, 4 till 5, Tyson Troubleshooting. On a Wednesday, join Emily Lockett, the best-selling author, Emily Lockett, between 2 and 3:30 for the High Mastermind. And then you can pop up to the top of Snowdon. Whoa, it's chilly on the top of Snowdon. Between 4 and 5:30 for the Snowdon Summer Business Networking. And then come and meet the mother of all networking meetings, the big boy, the big one. Tonight, 7 till 9, you can come, you don't even need a ticket. Booking on Eventbrite, it's free. Come and join Andrew then. And then tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, 10 to 11:30, it's Cobra Connect, this is networking with John Boyd up in the Northwest. Followed by what Barry called the warm-up advice, the main event, which is Cobra Live Link Up every Thursday, 1 to 2. And then we've got Chris Mason and the 300 Club, Cobra Strike, meeting at 4 till 5, weekly on a Thursday. And then in the morning on a Friday, come and join the Ray of Sunshine with Louise Montblanc between 8 and 9 for her business event first on Friday. And then join Shane Yates, Full Welsh Breakfast, 9:30 to 11, Pet Cloud Couples, and Monopoly Red Ed Hour. And then we've got our newest, one of our newest companies, it's the Cobra Express Business Networking event every Friday, 2 till 3:30 with Alan Kepler. And then come and join Sharon Ritchie to finish off the week up in Scotland. Pour yourself a drink, 4 till 5:30 for Wine and Down Friday. See you there. And that just bids me a chance to say that Zaf thinks Andrew Hatch is a hero too. And Russell Silverman also thinks Alan's a hero. Sorry, that Andy's a hero. So, I have one more thing to do, which is to say, over and out. Really, really good to see you all. Thank you for your times. And I have one more, if I can find it. Buttons to press, guys. It's just too much for me. We have. Oh, that one. We have one more to play you, and I shall see you all hopefully next week. Thanks, guys.